I think Angelina is someone that brought a sense of stoicism to the character that I didn't entirely see. At the beginning, I struggled a little bit with it, and I always ask her to do maybe another take with a slightly different kind of understanding of certain emotional aspects of what we're doing. And then after 3 weeks in, I just stopped asking for that.
Hello, and welcome back to The Director's Cut, brought to you by the Directors Guild of America. In this episode, the last days of famed opera singer Maria Callas are chronicled in director Pablo Larraín's biographical drama, Maria. The film follows the famed soprano as she retreats to Paris after a glamorous and tumultuous life in the public eye. With time to settle and reflect, she reckons with both her legacy and her identity. In addition to Maria, Larraín's other directorial credits include the feature films The Club, El Conde, Emma, Jackie, Neruda, No, and Spencer, and episodes of the miniseries Lyce's Story and Homemade. Following a screening of the film at the DGA Theater in Los Angeles, Larraín spoke with director Mike Mills about filming Maria. Listen on for their spoiler-filled conversation.
Hi, everyone. It's a lot of light. Who's gaffing this? Thanks, everyone, for hanging out and coming to see the film. And I was so impressed with your movie. It's a good thing you're a director because it's really well directed. All the cinematic elements. First of all, the performance, obviously. But then place and location are so rich and so felt. And obviously those two elements, the camera work, the quality of the film itself, all these ingredients were so poised and subtly, gently, beautifully done. Just the exposures even, I was marveling at the precision of all the exposures. And I really just had a director to director thing, well, how in the hell did you come up with that whole language? Or what was it like at the beginning? What's your process like of it's going to be like this? How does it start for you?
Well, thank you for being here and for doing this, Mike. I actually grew up more in the opera house than on a film theater, and I have wondered why, there are very few movies about opera. It's crazy. And of course, when you make a movie, the first thing you do is to see other movies on the same subject. And that's how I discovered that there are 4. It's crazy. It's very, very few. And the aim was to bring the opera to cinema or cinema to opera, whatever. But try to really shoot this if it's would be a moving proscenium, like a moving stage. Yeah. And we were inhabiting a space of opera all the time where the perception of the character through music could allow us to sort of inhabit what she's experiencing. Where opera becomes something that is real and that is not real, and it's all mixed in this, less rational kind of approach. Mm-hmm. I grew up going to the opera with my mom, and since I was a little kid, and at least where I'm from in Santiago, in Chile, the subtitles are above the stage, and I would refuse to look at them, to read them. I was very into what was going on. And over the years, I got to understand the arguments, of course, so I didn't need to do that. So that was part of the aim of this film, try to do something that it's in the music, in what the characters are doing and feeling, And that ultimately helped me to understand that we wanted to be with wide lenses, move it very slow, try to make a camera work that would be as invisible as possible. And it's just like, and the music. We had to choose. I had to choose most of the music before, which is also unusual. So I had the music with me in the set, and I would play it, and that would help me to understand how to whether cover it or move it. And obviously Angelina, which is the angel of this film.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a sec. But like, just in terms of the filmmaking part of it, how does it start in your mind? Is it visual? Obviously, it sounds like it's like you're coming through the music towards the screen in a way. Is that right? And
first the music.
Do you have like visual references? Do you draw? Like, how do you start? Your films have such a specific weave of all the elements, right? And so when I was watching, I was like, this person really knows how to control all the elements, right? So how does that develop though? Like, how does it, as a director, I want to know.
Well, what is very helpful for me is that before anything happens, Guy Henrys, our production designer, and myself, we travel a lot and visit every single place and eat in the restaurants. We sleep in the hotels. We go to shows where she sang.
Yeah.
We get into her apartment. And so it's like the first thing that is very important to me is to kind of leave and be in the places.
Just like physically.
Yeah, physically there.
Right.
And though this is the cafe which she used to go, and then we would have breakfast every day there.
Cool.
And then can we get into her apartment? And eventually we were able to do it. And then she was singing in this opera house. Can we go there? No, you can't. Can we just buy a ticket?
Yeah.
Then we got the tickets, and then it's just and then I think it's the camera language. It's very important for me, the choice of lenses, the type of format.
Yeah.
We shot on Super 8 and 16, Super 16 and 35.
Yeah.
Both color and black and white.
Yeah.
And that would determine a lot of it. And I don't plan anything. I don't like the storyboard shooting boards.
At
all.
Wow.
I like to be in the location and
do you
plan
take pictures or anything, or you just?
Yeah, I'm a photographer.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's part of your process then, of like figuring out, because I feel like
sorry. All this process, it's with a camera.
Right.
Yeah.
Still camera.
Yes.
That's interesting. Yeah, to me, I felt like I'm always so fascinated by place and casting are like the two most important elements.
Of course.
And you're really good at like architectural photography, or there's like feeling in these. This film had such amazing locations, obviously, but it's not easy. Sometimes a big, overwhelming, gorgeous location is very hard to film, I find, or very hard to like capture what's really special about it. Yeah,
and also what I try to do, that it's not easy, but I had the luck to work with Ed Lachman as a DP. Yeah. So I really I dislike to have tripods on the set.
Yeah.
So every set is a 360 thing that, depending on the shot, he could add certain things or like diffusion or lights, but everything is on the ceiling or behind the camera.
Right.
So that helps a lot not to have like what I think is problematic to me. And I think it's more related to advertising that I've done and television. Yeah. Which is you work with sides, right? So we're going to be in this side, and then we're going to be in the other side. Yeah. And I try to avoid that. I try to have a clean space, also for the actors to see the other side, and eventually to be able to rotate in the shot and move around. Yeah. And in the same takes, discover the space. But I do care a lot about architecture and framing. How do you so if you're starting from stills and like still, your mind is maybe sort of still first. Yes. I think you're talking about a very fluid, non-side kind of photography, which is very hard to like think of. Is that just all on the set on the day? Or if you don't do, wow. But I do go a lot to the sets before, and I take pictures. I don't have a clear thing. But do you have like a shot list on the day or no? No. Wow. That's great. Yeah, AD doesn't love it. Did all the ADs just laugh or sort of like go, oh? But But in this movie, I was never late. We were never late.
Yeah.
And we were on time, no extra time, because I also have my brother's a producer, so he's like here. But I don't think that for me, what is important is to try to discover the scene with the actors.
Yeah. So there's no marks, probably.
No marks, and no the older I've gotten, the less I talk to the actors.
Yeah.
I try to be very precise at the beginning, and then try to create and sort of evolve into the scene as we're shooting it. And that's why there are very few cases in the film. There are where there's like an establishing shot and then a shot, or maybe like a shot from behind, so we see where we are.
Yeah.
Like that kind of thing, that narrative, I try to avoid it. I try to just be in one idea of a framing and move it, and then capture as much as I can with that angle. And then as I'm doing it in the camera, from the camera, I realize that we might need something else. And I think also what I've changed a lot in the way that I've shot is that I've been using this, the small technocranes. The one is like 15 foot, that's really small, and you can put it anywhere inside, and the camera is like floating.
Yeah.
And then you discover many, many angles up to the point that I just like the way that we shoot, that you keep the camera on the dolly. I keep it on the crane.
Yeah.
The entire shoot.
Right. So, okay. So we're talking about Ed Lachman, who did such a beautiful job on your last two movies. And just, like I said, I've never been so aware of like just the precision of an exposure and like how there's no real highlights in your movie. It's just like mid to low. Yeah. And I know it was set in 77, and I think you were trying to sort of have a 77.5, and I was thinking of Gordon Willis a lot, and also in your proscenium sort of shots.
We were all thinking of Gordon Willis, yes.
I love Gordon Willis.
Yes.
And even in like your medium closes, you have that like statuesque quality that he could achieve that I feel like is such a test of a director DP's like taste and maturity. It's like a simple shot. It's just a chest up, but it's so, you can tell when someone really knows what they're doing. I feel like with those shots, it should be like a test.
But there's something that, that I've worked with other DPs, and there's something that I guess this would apply to a lot of us will understand, is that they're trying to work, especially in digital, wide open, right? Or like very open. Yeah. And I operate the camera. I was telling Mike, so I am the one who puts the stop in the lens. So Ed would yell at me from the monitor the number, and I would put it, and it was like, sometimes I was 11 or 8.5, which is very weird. And it was scary at the beginning.
Yeah. And
then I understood what he was doing, because at that stop, it's not only the focus situation, but it's what you're saying.
Yeah.
And how the colors are changing because of that. He really works for the negative.
Yeah.
And what is very beautiful and unusual is that whatever you're seeing live in the set, it would look very different color-wise. So for example, all those greens that are in some shots are very strong from the windows. You wouldn't see them live.
Wow. I remember feeling like, I'm just feeling so much like texture, like the texture of all the actual material and the clothing and the curtains and stuff like that. But there's such precision between the background and the foreground in terms of the exposure, like I was saying, and all the atmosphere that's in all the rooms, and this like real tactile quality, painterly quality. And I just watched another film after, and it was obviously, I don't even know if it was digital or not, but the quality was just much harder and sharper. And what you and Ed can achieve is really so specific and beautifully subtle.
The lenses that, he owns those lenses.
Yeah.
There's a very old lens from the 30s.
Yeah.
So he would walk with his case, like he would be carrying like a human ear or something. And
so why do you like to operate? And we talked a little bit, but like how does that change your relationship to the actor, and why do you choose to operate?
Well, I think it's, it minimized the necessity of having someone in between the actors and myself. So I kind of become the first audience.
Yeah.
I also love it. It's like I feel like there's a big technician inside of me, maybe more than a filmmaker. I love the filming itself. And then I don't. There's something also that I don't need too many takes.
Yeah.
If I see it and I know that we have it, then we can move on. This movie was made with 3 takes on average, I'd say.
Whoa.
Maybe 2,
Whoa.
very little. And it helps because...
Even with all the orchestras and stuff?
Yeah. It helped because it creates an ambient on the set that when we are going to shoot from take 1, everyone knows that it could happen.
Yeah, right.
And so the level of focus and concentration, the actors are going right up for it at the very beginning. And so
when I shoot, often I'll just say like, action, and then we'll start. And then I'll just like still rolling, and we'll keep going just to kind of keep the simmering going. But it sounds like if you're doing only 3 takes, you really like stop and reset. And
yeah, especially in film.
Yeah, right.
I do long takes.
Yeah.
I do the whole scene on every angle.
Yeah, right.
I don't chop it.
Yeah.
So usually the scenes are longer than, so you have to change the magazine.
Yeah.
You could do 2, but yeah, I do. I cut.
Yeah.
That's the digital thing. Everyone starts talking, right?
Yeah.
And then you back it up and then you start again. I think film creates more precision on everyone.
Right. Interesting.
And I didn't have a lot of stock, so yeah. So measure
I'm
it.
shocked about this. Okay, so let's talk about performance. Obviously such an amazing performance, and that she learned how to sing for the film. Tell me about that process and what that was like. And I didn't know that before I watched the movie, and I was watching one of the close-ups of her sing the black and white shot. And I was like, okay, clearly her air is going through her body, and air and emotion are going through her body in a very authentic way. But I didn't understand how you did it. Can you explain it a little bit?
Well, I early discovered that it, unlike I don't know, say like a pop or rock, you can't really cheat here. Like if we get into a car and I would just go and play a record of anything, and I would just, if I know the song, I could, sing it out loud. You would tape it with your phone. Yeah. They would put it on Abbott, and I would just take my sound and put the song. It could work eventually.
Yeah.
Because of the structure and the pitch of the opera singing style and necessities, it is absolutely impossible to look or do it in a way that it feels believable if you're not actually singing it out loud.
Yeah.
In the pitch,
in the space,
in following and tracking the melody with a lot of precision.
Yeah.
And that is nearly impossible unless you're a professional singer or you train for a very long time exactly what you're going to sing. Right. So she had 2 months of posture and breathing.
Wow.
That changed also the character and the voice of the character and everything.
Yeah.
Italian. She only sang in Italian.
Yeah.
And then she would sing and train each aria for 1 month every single day for 5 hours.
Wow.
And then during production, every night she would go, because we spread it, so she didn't have to sing. She would just sing the next one.
Yeah.
And every night. So she has an earpiece and a wire that is usually behind the hair, the wig, mm-hmm. or we would erase it. Mm-hmm. And she would just sing out loud. So if the crew is here and I'm her, you would only hear my voice, nothing else. And we would capture not only her voice, but her breath, every sound. Yeah. She had a lot of microphones.
Yeah.
And then we would go into post-production and mix it in a very old school, just mix it.
Yeah.
And
mix it with original Callas recordings? Or
Callas recording.
Yeah.
We were able to isolate the Callas voice from the recording.
Yeah.
We re-record the orchestration.
Yeah. And
then we mix it. So there's always, every breath, every sound is Angelina. But in the music, in the singing, there's always a fragment of Angelina. Sometimes it's 1%, sometimes 5%.
Yeah. And
at the very end, it's 50%.
Right.
And it's like, but it's not that she pretend to sing. It's since I was actually singing. And of course, with Maria Callas' voice, you don't want to make a movie called Maria without her voice. It would be not a great idea. But but it determined everything. I think it changed the way that she understood the character, the way that we work with her. And I've never worked with method actors, only once, but and she doesn't do that. But the entire crew, we were like just like talking and like sort of referring to her as she was Maria.
Yeah.
So we didn't take care of her as if she was an actor. She was a singer.
Yeah.
So there was
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think music is so magical and powerful, and kind of more powerful than film, really, right? It's like, it's more somatic.
Yes.
So that must have been an amazing thing for her to like steep herself inside, you know? What was it like just working with her in terms of both prep and then on set? Like, how do you give Angelina Jolie a note?
Well, you do. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but how?
Yeah. Well, I think,
what are they? Are they short? Are they long? Are they?
She has a lot of discipline, and I think she understood very early in the process the size of the challenge, the size of the problem.
Yes.
And she really got into it. And then when we were shooting, I think she doesn't needs a lot. I think she wants precision.
Yeah.
And then I understood how to, I don't know. It's like you understand how she thinks and how she likes to work. I think she got along really well with Bruna and Ferruccio, Pier Francesco Favino and Alvaro Padre, wonderful actors.
Yeah.
They really create like a family in between takes, and even they were having dinner at night. They create a group, a beautiful group.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Angelina is someone that brought a sense of stoicism to the character that I didn't entirely see.
Say that again.
Like a sense of stoicism.
Yeah.
You know, she was very stoic.
Yeah.
Or Maria in our film.
Yeah.
At the beginning, I struggled a little bit with it, and I always ask her to do maybe another take with a slightly different kind of understanding of certain emotional aspects of what we're doing.
Yeah.
And then after 3 weeks in, I just stopped asking for that. She got it better.
She heard it. She felt what you were going to ask for.
No, but she kind of understood that even in the most difficult moments, she was going to stay. She was going to, stay stoic. She would put it. She was even, would put it together and keep it together and be, even privacy. She was there. She was possessed by this idea of protecting her and protecting not Maria as a human, but protecting herself in that environment. And I think that really, really helped a lot. And then obviously she understood a lot of things about, being someone in the public eye and in the media for obvious reasons.
Okay, but come on. What's a note like? Is it like, what's a note like? Is it like, is it 2 words? Is it 2 sentences?
For me? To her?
Yeah.
Well, depends on in which part of the process. At the beginning, we would talk a lot more.
Yeah.
A lot more.
Yeah. Did you rehearse? Did you see things?
No, nothing. No.
Yeah. So she just had a process of.
I don't like to read. I love the actors, but on the sets, and you know what it is? Because I
wait, no read through, obviously, but
just talking, a lot of talking.
Right. Just like chatting about the whole thing.
We would sit on an office for hours to see pictures, to listen to music.
I think the more experienced actor, the more they just want to do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure. And I think that, and also for me, an actor, like reading or pretending to be rehearsing or a proper rehearsal, it would never be with a camera. They won't have the costume. They won't have the makeup. It's not.
Yeah.
And I have this paranoia that may be silly, but I do, that I feel that if we rehearse and they really go for it, something could happen and we're not shooting. Yeah. And it's like, we're here to capture filmmakers.
Yeah.
But I think that I always, remember like stories from actors that they talk about how after they got the character in the process, they only need very few words, and I really stick to that. And I think, and often I think a good director is the one that knows when to shut up and not say anything.
Hell yes.
And because I am in the camera and I'm looking at her, sometimes if I'm operating physically with a stick, I would just get my eye off the viewfinder and look at her And just by the way we look at each other, at some point we understood what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
And it's like, you got it. And
You're in a band together at that point.
So shut up.
Yeah.
But I remember, Gary Oldman said something, I don't know where, but I saw it a while ago. And he said that they were shooting one of the Batmans with Chris Nolan. And Chris Nolan has not talked to him in the entire shoot at all. Nothing. And he was like, okay.
Yeah.
And then he comes in and talks to him and he only says, there's more at stake.
That's good. Yeah.
And he's the cap. That's it.
Yeah.
And Gary Oldman said, thank you. And that's all he needed.
Yeah.
Not just for the scene, and he never talked to him again.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
And this is, I think there's an understanding, I think I don't know. I just don't want to fail into the idea that they need to hear me. I don't think so. No.
I agree. I think a lot is communicated to, like, not to sound too new agey, but like this with the energy between the two people and the accumulated experience through prep when you start shooting of like being in the trench together. You develop a kind of.
And I think also what it is that when, for example, we prepare a shot, right, and she comes for makeup, and then of course, I have to explain. So we're here. This is what, we have not discussed the scene. The scene is on paper. So you're going to be in bed, whatever. You're going to stand up, going to turn the light on. She's going to come from here. You're going to get into the shot, going to talk, da. Just when you describe the situation, how you're going to play the choreography, where the camera's going to be, what's the movement, is already the very first direction.
Yes. But okay, so for that blocking with the camera and her, you don't do that with her. You kind of have a plan, and then she comes in and hears what your plan is.
Yes.
Is that always with you, or is that just with her?
Yes, I love standings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's better. I also think that it's the way that I like it, because I really believe that if the actor get used to walking into a set to really shoot, then as you get into the process, they understand that.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, they need you at the set, and the person steps out of the trailer or whatever she is, and gets into the set, and we're ready. This is what it is, and unless he has a very strong opinion on the movement or it's usually what we're doing.
That sounds like fun. Okay, very basic question, but I mean it. Why do you like to direct, or like what's good about it for you?
Oh, very good question. I don't know anything else to do.
What's the fun part and what's the bad part?
The bad part is there are two bad parts: getting the money, and releasing the movie.
Which part of releasing?
I don't know. It's very weird because it's a big paradox. I want every single human in this planet to see it.
Yeah.
I want it to be successful. I want blah blah blah, but I don't want to be in there.
You don't want to.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't want to see that.
Hell yes.
It's so weird.
Come to my house. I'll be hiding with you. Yeah.
We were talking about he's creating a therapy for directors. And then the best part is shooting, of course. But I've been learning that everything we do, it's really determined in the editing room.
Yeah.
So the more I've worked, the more I enjoy that.
Yeah.
And I try to.
How much do you play in the edit room? Like how much?
Often the editor, Sophia, in this case, she started working as we're shooting, and then I wrap, and then I go home or whatever, and then she would call me when she has like a first assemble of everything we shot.
Yeah.
As organized as possible.
Yeah.
And with that, I get in and we work together every day.
Yeah. But I mean, like,
leave the editing room again.
How much do you do things that you didn't script, or do things you'd never thought those two shots would go together, or like really play with the material? Because sometimes I sometimes feel a real Godardian French New Wave thing from you. and like a real playful displacement of like time. And
and I also have a system that my team has embraced it after years of pain, which is we work with something that is called the X scenes. That means that they're not in the script, they don't have a number, and they come up as we're there.
Yeah. You shoot them just like, hey, what about this?
There are a lot of things like for example, in Maria, they were 52. And it becomes like a box on the editing room where you go there. It's like, we call it the treasure box.
Yeah.
So you go there and say, oh, what's in here? And then you find something.
Was it just you had like a little extra time and you see something beautiful and you're like, let's just go shoot this.
Right.
Yeah.
Or sometimes we know it and we don't want to get everyone crazy.
Yeah.
And then we're going to tell them in the spot. And then Guy and you know, but I've worked with the last 3 movies. They've been with German ADs.
Yeah.
And they get really nervous because you're doing something that is not in the schedule.
Hell yeah.
But they're great. And I think that is very important. And I love that. And so there's always something like that is not previously organized. And we all have a lot of fun with that.
I love that too.
And there's a lot of that in this film. There are many of those scenes. One of them is the card scene when they're playing cards.
Yeah.
That is completely improvised.
Yeah.
I felt I needed something more
tender
in between them, and we did it. Yeah.
The texture between them and what they were saying felt very live.
Yeah. One of I think it's the second to last day of production.
Yeah.
But look, going back to the direct question, you know, I think that's
we have 1 minute.
Wow. Okay. what I really love, and I think we all do. Yeah. We all do. I'm sure here too is that. I love when we are about to shoot and then someone goes in and just fix like a hair or move that phone or like there's something that is happening and then we're all in there, and I do it myself with my hands and Guy is there and then we all back up and we're behind and then and there's something that could be captured. That could become a fragment of a bigger idea that is a movie. Yeah. That is an illusion. So I feel that we are like all these old magicians where someone is like pulling a rope or just put the smoke and then the people believe it. And you can enter, a beautiful reflection of humanity, of arts, through something that is complex, but it's simple. Yeah. That we are like behind. We can be seen. That's the best part.
Oh, that's interesting. You just really remind me of like a Lumiere set we were just describing. Well, I think that's a great place to end, right?
Be careful with the mirrors. We're going to be in the mirrors. You know, I love that. Oh, there's a mirror. You know, it's so obvious, but it's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think what you described too is like magic. And I'm going to sound so new agey tonight. Is a little spiritual. Like all this intention, this group intention, and then whoop, that's when it's going to happen. Yeah. This flew by.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you for coming to see.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for listening to another DGA Q&A. The Director's Cut is available wherever you listen to podcasts. And please share, subscribe, rate, and review. We'd love to hear your feedback, and you can help fellow film buffs find the show. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time. This podcast is produced by the Directors Guild of America.